Right, week 6 code along is totally fun. In my humble opinion, we get to learn more about images and responsive images and clip and just, really fun stuff. And then in 17, we get to learn about media queries, which seems magical. First time I think I remember seeing them, it's like you can make the page respond to particular resolutions or what we call viewports more commonly, but totally fun. So just looking at the instructions here as we move through. So again, you don't have to copy over the last one. Just if you want to, you can. That'd be a good way to do it, is set up that folder for underscore CSS W6. Remember, all lowercase. And then either copy over or create those and then go out to Dave's, right? And in 16, I was just in there playing around looking at the starter code because in 16 and I believe also in 17, right, you get the starter, and actually it was on 15 and some of the other ones as well. You get the starter now. He doesn't say ending, but it's there. So, the ending code, as I had said last time, was really to help you check in case you miss something, which I've done, so it happens. But on the starter, this time you're going to need these images. Okay, which by the way, FYI, the one thing you could also do is bring this whole repo down. Like if you wanted to, don't put it in ours. Don't put it anywhere in the structure we have. But outside of that, you could. Again, that's just making sure you don't put it in our repo. But it's a good thing to have. But I like grabbing them off here just because I don't like to add a lot of things to my system. So on 16, we have these images. Okay. And when I first clicked on the bubbles one, I was like, I don't see anything. What do I download? So I went here and I downloaded it. But then I realized if I just like drag across, I can see where the image is. Turns out it's transparent, meaning you can't see it. But then you can save image as. Remember, if you do that here, it's not going to produce what you think. So make sure you're clicking on each of them, and I think even the transparent one, right? Now that one's a little easier, at least in my current lighting, to see it. So anyway, grab these images however you do it, but I'm showing you, right, don't do it from here. Make sure you click into them to get those. Okay, so you get those starter ones, and then you learn about image block, how to display it, how to handle the text and the images, and then the hero styling, totally fun to see that, and then the background image and the repeat and the size, and learning how to do container. One of the things you're seeing in this course from Dave is not just what the CSS code is doing to your page, but also the way he approaches it and the way he writes the CSS, which is something you want to keep in mind. Okay, so now in a couple of these, I do specify, like, take some notes, right, about in your CSS MD file. So make sure you're doing that. And then this last one with clip was just so fun. And then, I offer a break. And then 17 is the last one, a little shorter, I think. I think it's a little shorter. But so much freaking fun, in my opinion. And in this case, I do want to spend just a minute here talking about DevTools because I use DevTools all the time, and there's just so much to learn about DevTools. So let me bring up the ending for this one. Okay, so here. So when Dave has you get in here, and it took me a minute to go figure this out, but when he was showing in that last one where you do device frame, where he actually shows it, like, let me bring it over just so you can see it because it threw me off for a minute, like where he shows how you can get that nice little device, because, and let me show you this, when you're in here, right, if you haven't done this already, and this is part of what you can run into, especially this week, and I probably should have said it last week, but is when you're in here, you can see the resolution. So sometimes if your screen looks different than Dave's, as far as the way it's rendering, you definitely want to look at this, right? Because Now I'm on a Pixel 5 because I was playing, but I think by default it'll come into this responsiveness, responsive design, and you can manually input dimensions. So if you see it on Dave's screen and you're like, why isn't mine looking the same? The first thing you can try is just input his resolution. Okay, so and you learn about the different, you can actually click up here to actually have different viewports, and so like mobile medium, and he talks this week in the media queries about the more common, what you'll hear, breakpoints based on if you're used to something like Bootstrap, which if you took 82, that's what we use there. Tailwind's a very popular CSS framework. But in this case, right, part of what we're doing here is learning how to make our coding the media queries to make our page responsive. But when he gets to the part where he actually comes over here, now like if you choose a device, and he will say show, and mine didn't show up, and so I spent a few minutes going, why didn't it? And so I finally found a website on Google that showed me if you don't have them already downloaded. And I was like, I don't care that much about it. So if that's fun for you, let me know. I'll find that for you. But one thing I found, which was really funny, was the one that did show up was the Nest device. And I laughed. I'm like, okay, Google, so you gave me this one, but none of the others. Anyway, FYI. When you get to that particular one. Let's come back here. All right, so that's just a little heads up on the media queries and DevTools. You definitely want to be playing with DevTools because it will make your life in whatever web development you're doing so much better. Okay, so take the break if you're working right at the due date. And again, if you want to take advantage of the break, it is important that you submit your commit history. And the reason is I want to see if you've completed chapter 16, because in order to qualify for getting an extra day, you have to have done half the work. All right, have fun with this. I'm almost done with our first step on our project, so I'm excited to finish that up and release week 6. See you later.